Welcome everybody to the Chicago Clubhouse podcast. No Foulmouth today. He's still working on the new house and everything. Terrence is running a little bit late, so we're gonna hold down the fort for a little bit until they hop on. But hey, where do we start? I mean, NFL training camp is coming up. Just had the Bulls draft recently. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about that. Hey, my Blackhawks had a draft. I'm going to do a little Hawk talk today because unlike, one owner in Chicago as opposed to the Bulls owner in Chicago, he looks like he's actually knows what the hell he's doing. But hey, it's going to be a fun one. We got, I don't want to spoil the guest that we have on, but he knows how to get those people in shape for training camp. He knows how to get that stuff. We're going to break down a lot with him today. And I'm sure you saw the promo. I'm sure you can read who we got. We'll break down a little bit of Bears with him. It's going to be exciting, man. So, hey, Commish, hit it.
You are now rocking with the Chicago Clubhouse podcast, where they think they know everything, but honestly, they don't know shit.
Summer league games and they tell you about these new up-and-coming coaches.
I think we should get rid of every motherfucking owner in Chicago.
Enzo and Caruso, both when they are on the court, are like your defensive generals.
But they need to get that strong safety who's not scared to hit somebody.
They really don't know shit.
I think we do know more about some Chicago sports teams owners, in my opinion. Don't know about everyone else's opinion on that one, but I think we do. So again, hey, welcome everybody. We're gonna have a fun one here. I mean, honestly, let's just get right to it. I'm gonna bring in my guys right off the bat. Let's start it off with the stat man who knows every stat, 50s, 40s, 30s. I mean, before most, he knows a lot. I'm still teaching him a little hockey, but other than that, every other sport he seems to know. So let's bring him in, JB.
Roughly 14 minutes.
What's up?
How you been, man?
Been all right. How's it been with you?
Got some nice cool weather the last few days, which is always a plus as opposed to this 100-degree, swass heat that we've had to deal with those last few weeks is insane. It felt like we were hanging out with Crooked Commission, Arizona.
Man, my air conditioner was like, dude, are you crazy? Like, can I take a break?
Yeah, which made it even worse. My car's air conditioner went out right in that 100-degree heat. So I didn't drive that much, that's for sure. I kept my ass in the house.
No, that's right.
So, I haven't really been able to get to talk to you guys in a while since this Bulls draft and everything like that, man. What do you think? How are you feeling about that?
If they don't get rid of this regime quick, we're not going to have a basketball team to root for at all.
I don't think they're getting rid of them because if I'm not mistaken, they just got another behind-the-scenes quiet extension.
Well, if they
Y'all killing me with this.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I don't understand it at all. But I'm sure we'll break down a little basketball more towards the end of the show. I want to break down a little bit of hockey as well. But start off of this show, we're going to be breaking down some football because we got our guy. He's back. Haven't seen him in a while. Happy to have him back. Everybody should know who this guy is. Big defensive tackle. I think. If I'm not mistaken, and JB, you could correct me if I'm wrong, he's known mainly for the Bengals. That's where he was. Yep. He killed it with the Bengals, man. Yep. I would have loved to see him in a Chicago Bears uniform. It's just unfortunately our ownerships are dumbasses. Yeah.
Well, hopefully this one is a little better. I don't. At this point, I don't. I have very little faith in anything Chicago-based sports right now. I just don't have any.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong, man. It's just I know you always like to say you're that guy, but in still I mean, we haven't really had a consecutive franchise since the Blackhawks, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, the Cubs won it that one year, but I mean they've had to cut ties with that team a lot quicker than expected. So I mean,
well, true, but I'm gonna look at it and take it a step further. I'm not so much even concerned about the consistency portion as much as I am just the idiotic moves they make so that before we can get consistent, we got to put something in place.
Yeah.
You know,
like I don't get it. We always been known here in Chicago to go out and get the dogs, the guys who work hard and bust their ass for their teams. But I don't even see that stuff anymore. And it's sad. I don't know if it scares me. It scares me a lot. But I mean, we'll break down some football a little bit. Let's bring in our guy, Keith Rucker. How you doing?
What's up, fellas?
Welcome back.
Glad to be back.
So, I mean, before we even get started, tell us about you. What you've been doing lately?
Well, I'm back coaching college ball again, and I do a lot of training, personal training in the summertime on my free weeks or months, however many of those we can sneak out. But been on the road recruiting, getting ready for my last camp of the summer. Had my first camp here in Cincinnati over Memorial Day weekend, and then I always do one up in Illinois at Homewood Flossmoor High School, where I grew up at. So we're getting ready for that camp. It's our 21st year, and we're just continuing to chug a lug and go strong, man. It's been fun.
You put those college kids to work a lot more than what we're seeing with NFL players, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
correct?
Yes, sir. We do. We got to, man. It's a different game, different level, different product, and the new age kid already feels like he knows more than the coaches. So we have to remind them, because like back in my days of playing and back in the Jordan era and the Bad Boys and all them dudes, that was real sports. Yeah. That was when guys were physical, and you had to really be special to play it, you know. And now it just seems like we're creating these prima donnas who don't want to work as hard, but want to keep collecting all the money that they're getting. So,
So Keith, let me ask you this: first of all, what college are you at? And congratulations for getting a coaching gig. You know, I'm all for that because I love when I work your camps and just that energy and the knowledge is passed on first and foremost.
Yes, absolutely. I'm at Ohio Wesleyan University. We're about 30 minutes north of Ohio State, and it happens to be my alma mater. So this is my second stint back there. Enjoying it. Had a great recruiting class this year and already working on the 26th class. So looking forward to this season.
That's what's up. Congratulations on that. Anytime,
Thank you.
One of ours can get them jobs, man. I'm always going to support.
Yes, sir.
And promote.
Yes, appreciate that. Definitely.
So when you looking at the college game and you're looking at the pro game, what happened? Because as much as I love and I cannot turn my back against the NFL, as much as sometimes I want to just be like, turn it off. College is just so much more entertaining.
Yes,
to me.
Yes, there's a piece in between the two that has changed. I think it has to do with the younger generation. You know, it's at the college level, and again, that's why. Like I watch college basketball all day long. I don't watch NBAs until the championship usually, because college kids seem to have something to play for. If they're trying to get to that next level, or if they're just like in my situation, we're a Division III college, small school. None of those guys are going to go pro. A few of them may have an opportunity, but they all have something to play for. And then once a lot of those guys get to the highest level, they kind of chill out and stop working as hard, which means their production is going to change. So it seems like a sense of urgency to produce when you're in college to get to that next level, whatever it is for whoever it is. But once they get there, it's like, oh, I can relax, and it shouldn't be that way.
Right, it should be the opposite.
Yes, they should be turning up like, wow, I'm here, made it, now let's go.
Let me ask you this, Keith, since you kind of brought up like the college game, like how do you feel about these NIL deals and everything with these college kids getting paid now?
You know, I will be honest and say it needed to happen. Mm-hmm. The only thing is, I think without the proper guidelines, it's kind of out of control.
Yeah.
And it takes away from the game, because now you got kids, you're recruiting kids and they're asking what you can do for them. And it should be opposite. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, if Ohio State's coming in to talk to you and, you know, you're one of their guys high on their list and they're ready to offer you a scholarship, but you ask them, so-and-so is going to do this for me. What are you guys going to do?
Yeah.
And then it becomes this like agent versus the organization, this deal that they did in the contract days, you know, like, well, put this in his contract, put that in his contract, put this clause there. If he comes in shape, if he scores in the top 10, you know, it's a lot. There's no guidelines. And I think it needed to happen, though, because that was one of the things when I first went to college at Eastern Michigan, I was on scholarship, mm-hmm. and I wasn't able to work.
Right.
So I got $900 a year Pell Grant, and $900 probably all went home to my mom, because I'm the youngest of 8 kids in a single parent house. So, you know, and it's kind of the same thing with these kids too, is they're jumping at this big money because they want to do something for their family, take care of their mom. And that's the other piece. I get that. But, you know, it's just no guidelines. So it's kind of, there's no equality right now. It's just, you're either the dude and you're not the dude. There's no middle class anymore. It's upper or lower.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So with that being said too, Keith, because I agree with you on that stance that colleges should have, maybe not if we say pay for play, right? But there should be some extra money, because what people don't know, like you just stated, when you're on scholarship or you're a walk-on or whatever, once the meals and the room and board goes, it's like sometimes you don't have $5 to get a pizza.
That's right.
You know, but you can't go, or you can work sanctioned events. You may get some per diem when you're out at a game or something on the road. But that's not any sustainable income. So maybe not the complete zero of it where it was, but also not the $1 million NIL deals either. You know, maybe find some type of guideline in between, like every school is only allowed to give out a total of $1 million to the kids.
Yes,
you know, something like that.
Something like that makes a whole lot more sense. And since they didn't tag those guidelines, that's where the issues are right now. I mean, I think back to a couple of years ago, Marvin Harrison Jr., where they were talking about paying him $12 million to stay at Ohio State for another year.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is going on?
Exactly, man. Like I always felt like merchandising and stuff like that, they should get paid for and everything, because that's their jersey. They're putting in the work to get that stuff, and they never saw that. But yeah, like how you just brought up $12 million. I mean, sometimes it's smart to go back to school now.
Absolutely.
It's insane.
Oh, for sure. That $12 million for the 1 year is more than what his rookie contract
is.
Absolutely. It's amazing, man. I don't know, but I don't know if there's a way to get control of it though now. I mean, I do kind of like what you just said, JB, with the, you know, just an allotment for each program. This is what you have to spend. However you choose to spend it, because a lot of the Division II schools are doing that. That's how they give their athletic money. You know, one kid might be getting a $10,000 athletic scholarship where somebody else might be getting $2,000 or $3,000.
Right.
So I think that would be probably the safest system to use in order to not really tank football or tank college athletics. So that's a tough one, man. I usually like having that conversation because everybody has great opinions, everybody has great thoughts, and it just seems like the NCAA doesn't. That's who we're missing out on.
Yeah, because I also felt like, I mean, and I understand 100%, you know, you need the money. You need to support your family. You need to do all that type of stuff. There's no question about that. But I also feel like it's taken away pretty much like the respect that you have for the school that you went to.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you get some people who went to a specific school, they loved the school, always wanted to go to that school, but then another school offered them more money, so now they're going there instead because they don't.
Yep.
I mean, and I always joked around about like not showing like if you're not playing in like a bowl game because you're getting ready for the NFL draft and you're afraid to get hurt or something like that. I was always that type of person who's just I feel you just let your team down, dude. Like
absolutely.
I don't agree with that.
I'm playing. My draft stock is not going to drop that much. I'm
absolutely.
Playing. Yeah. You'll never get that opportunity once you're gone. You know.
Unfortunately, I am saying that into a certain somebody who is on the Bears right now because he didn't play in a bowl game. He was the number 1 overall pick, and I think they still won that bowl game if I'm not mistaken. And
they did. The backup
quarterback put up like 7 touchdowns too, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah. It is, but I mean, like, so for instance, even though I went to a Division III college or finished at a Division III college, I ended up going to play in the Hula Bowl. Mm-hmm. Got an opportunity to go play in the Hula Bowl. First Division III player in the history to play in the Hula Bowl. And I'm playing in the same game with guys that I left my game when it was over on Saturdays and went home and watched them on TV. And now I had the opportunity to play in those games with those guys. So, you know, ain't no way in the world I was going to not do that, worrying about the NFL combine or the draft and getting hurt. Getting hurt is part of the game. I mean,
it sucks when that happens, but
yes,
that's where I always brought in. Like, I always felt like you play if you think you're gonna get hurt. That's the best chances that you're gonna get hurt.
Absolutely.
Like, I mean, it's like, oh my, he could hurt himself. He could walk down the stairs, trip over his feet, and break his ankle walking down the damn stairs. This shit happens. And thank you, Bears Down. He did call out the word I was looking for. I couldn't think about it. Loyalty. There's no loyalty to the teams anymore. And it's just, it's sad that is what it's come down to for most sports, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know what? I just feel, and I'm not blaming the agents because I know that there's a place for them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not blaming corporate sponsorship because obviously that's how the money has rolled over to such, you know, absurd amounts.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still something about that amateurism, that kid that just wants to play.
Yep.
And when you sit up there and you see this dude who you've never met past the contract signing, you know, telling you, I suggest you don't take the one opportunity that you may ever have to play in a bowl game or to play in a senior. There's one opportunity that you'll never get again.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about that because the money is waiting for you. Well, if I'm at that point where you're coming to me for corporate sponsorship and saying I'm going to go number 1, I've already know the money's coming. But I won't have that opportunity to share the field with my brothers. To say, hey, we went to the bowl game.
Yeah.
We played in the bowl game. Now it's like, man, I wish I had went to the bowl game.
Yeah.
You never get that back.
Yeah.
You get the bread back. The money's easy. Clearly the money's the easy part now.
Yes.
Right? And that just like really bothers me because it's like, although there's levels, but that one guy doesn't play, how does that affect the other 130 kids or however the roster size is on that college football team?
Yeah.
Because now, if it is the star player, you basically just let all those guys down because they're counting on you as a team.
Right.
So now the brotherhood is tainted.
Yep.
You just became a singularity, you know? And it's like, to me, they're pushing what was once semi-pure, we'll say, right?
Yep.
Pushing it right out the window, Keith. I'm vexed with that now. I'm all for getting your money.
Yep.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like
$12 million
locker room with the fellas and some of the stories we used to share and stuff like I miss that. You know?
It's just like whenever I see this stuff now, I always think of that movie Blue Chips, where they would get busted for, you know, getting the people to come to their school by giving them cars, giving their parents jobs, giving them. Now I feel like that shit you can do.
Yeah.
It's rough. I think they always did do it. They just got away with it a lot. But now they could just publicly do it and nobody's going to care.
Yeah, it's to the highest bidder now, man. Yeah. And the other piece too is, like JB was saying, it really creates a locker room full of individuals because now everybody's out for self. And then you got to worry about the oh, if he gonna do it and just throw us out there, we got to do this. We got, maybe I'm gonna be the next guy to step up, and
Right.
instead of it being, hey man, let's go do what we've been doing all year. We got one more opportunity to do it. Let's make some memories. Let's win the national championship. Let's win the Orange Bowl. Let's win the Sugar Bowl. I mean, it's so much that goes into that. And then for those guys to be that selfish to just say, I'm not playing. And then you got to think, you got half the guys are cool with it because they like, yeah, I understand why you're doing it. And then the other one's like, I'm not, because he's been doing this all year.
Right.
And
the crazy part,
now you're tearing up the locker room.
I'm about to say, you just created division.
Yep.
And a lot of them, the draft, and that's another thing, like, not to go off on a tangent, but like the draft, the power of the draft was going to happen anyway. If you were one of those guys,
yes,
that was going to happen regardless. But to our point, what you said, Frank, Caleb doesn't play. Let's say they lose that game. Let's say the receiver who might have been a 3rd round pick with Caleb now all of a sudden is a 6th round pick because he didn't get the production. You have inadvertently changed other people's trajectory as well.
I mean, play better. Shit, work harder and play better then.
No, I'm saying because now, case in point, we drafted Luther Burden. Luther Burden last year was a 1st round pick.
Yeah.
His quarterback got hurt.
And his
numbers went down. So now his draft stock went down because he didn't put up the numbers. You see, that's, of course, injury is different than somebody just saying, well, you know what, I'm not going to play because that's fine.
Well, you're saying if he did play and did get hurt, then that's going to affect draft status as well. And I understand that. I just feel that's just playing with no balls, man. Like, I mean, and I hate it. And I played Division I hockey and everything like that. I've played with broken ribs. I have played with broken or fake teeth in my mouth, scars all over my face, blood all over the ice. Like, I never would have said, I'm not playing. I'm not playing. Otherwise, it's going to affect my draft status. I don't think I ever would have said something like that. But now it's okay.
Yeah, the heart and toughness don't exist like they used to.
Yeah, it's a job now, and I hate that shit.
Yeah.
And I understand you got to get paid to do it, but I'd rather get paid doing something I love than get paid just for doing work. But I mean, that's my opinion on that.
Yeah, I agree.
It's the nature of the beast right now because
it is.
It's almost like as much as you want to take courses for your major or what have you, now it's these kids. Now you got to take these financial courses. You got to take these business courses so that you can understand the business part of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so much like turmoil this goes on. Like, oh, I'll take you back to Keith. This goes back to the mid-90s. Okay. UCLA, Ed O'Bannon and them when they came up with the original.
Yes.
It wasn't called NIL then,
right.
But it was the lawsuit. Like, hey, you've got these jerseys and video games with our names and likeness on it, and we don't get 1 red cent from it.
Which I agree, that is not right.
But this guy who's a fan bought me a pair of shoes just because he likes the way I hustle, and now I'm about to lose my scholarship because a guy looked up for me.
Yes.
That's backwards.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, they kind of babied us with that when I was in the league, being on the Madden games and all that stuff. But what they did is it was like shared marketing. So what they did is if your name and all that was on a game, you got, let's say, every player on that game or on that team got a check from the NFL for $5,000.
Oh, wow.
How much did they make selling the game? Because everybody was playing it, including us as players. So it's like it's just like the NCAA. They're making their money. So that's why I've always said that they should have been, especially these scholarship kids, taking care of these kids a little bit at least, so where their families didn't have to struggle. Because again, the little Pell money that you get usually goes home if your household is a certain situation. So like mine was a single parent, youngest of 8, and mom was always on the grind. She was never home. So, when I got it, I always sent it because I knew how it was. And And now my brother's a dentist there,
Oh, nice.
and he became dad when I was in high school, and put his foot on my neck, made sure I took care of my books and went to school, and so that's where the education piece came for me. Because like my junior year, the 49ers actually wanted to sign me to the practice squad.
Really?
And
wow, okay.
I called my brother like, hey, what do you think? He was like, look, and it was kind of like what JB said. He told me, he was like, well, a lot of things could happen now while you're playing or when you're not playing. He said, but think about staying here one more year, and when you leave, you got your degree. And if you don't get drafted or nobody picks you up, you can go to work. And so that's always been his mentality growing up. So he just kind of passed that on to us. And so I said, I'm going to come back for my last year, and I'm glad I did. I won the national title on the shot put, discus, played basketball my senior year.
I remember you told me. Yeah, I remember you told me.
So, it was a great year. Went to the Hula Bowl, went to the NFL Combine. None of that would have happened had I left my junior year.
Right.
Yeah, it's true.
So those experiences, it's not always going to turn out bad. It's just people always think the worst. And like you said earlier, Frank, when you think that way, it's probably going to happen because you're playing different. You're timid. You're not balls to the wall like you would be in a normal situation.
Yep, I agree with that. And I wanted to actually bring up one thing, and we'll flip it into the NFL now, specifically present NFL. We had a nice little, we'll just say the person is a nice little insider who informed us with this past year's Chicago Bears team that halfway through the season, when they were below 500, they didn't really have a chance. They did not have mandatory workouts. They did not have mandatory conditioning. They did not practice usually hard, like at all. And I just think about that now. And then I go back to what we were seeing like in we'll just say literally the early 2000s and the 90s and all this stuff where these people were busting their ass off. Like, would you as a coach allow something like that? Even if your team is struggling?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
And this is a very reliable insider. I'm not going to say it. And it has been shown that they did not have to do workouts or anything. And it showed second half of the season because they sucked. They couldn't even make it 4 quarters.
Yeah. That's what you get. You don't prepare. You don't prepare to win and do all that conditioning and stuff. You just prepare to fail. So.
And that's when we were
backstage,
like
it was obvious.
When we were backstage, we were joking around about 2-a-days and 3-a-days and stuff like that. There's a reasons why you did that shit because you played 4 quarters when you put in that type of work. And you don't see that anymore.
Nope.
But you know what? It's funny too, Keith, because like I know just watching how camp was ran, right, and the dedication to your body and making sure that you're doing things properly. Now, I would think because you are now investments, $1 million investments, you would want the extra tools, the extra training, the extra practices so that you're not getting hurt, so that you're on top of your game, on top of your craft. But we seem to, because I remember going to football practice 8 to 10, and we had a break. Then we come back and go 12 to 2, had a break, and come back and go 4 to 6. Or 3 to 6, 3 to 5, something like that. And we turned out fine. Not a lot of people got hurt. Now all of a sudden there's no practicing and everybody's getting hurt.
Yep.
It's not rocket science, but
it's like that for all major sports too. It's sad. It is sad.
Yeah. And we, like when I was with the Cardinals, man, there was nothing for us to practice 3 times a day. And we built up those 3 years that I was there. We built up. We went from 3-13 to 4-12 to 7-9. In that 7-9 year, we lost 7 of those 9 games were by a touchdown or less. So we were getting better. We just didn't have the correct personnel. So we had like our defensive line. Our defense was young. Our offense was old, and it was just not a good mix. And then it was kind of the same thing when I was with the Bengals. and we went from Dave Klingler,
David
and then
Klingler,
Jeff
right.
Blake started playing, and we had, dude, the running backs: Harold Green, Steve Broussard, Derek Fenner, Eric Bieniemy.
Right.
We had Darnay Scott, Carl Pickens, tight end Tony McGee. The defense was loaded, but our offensive line was probably averaging about 30, 33 years old. So that was the difference, is that we didn't have. And then when they started bringing the younger guys in, it was time for all the defensive guys to go. So it was kind of this push and pull mechanism where they started bringing the young dudes in for the O-line, but then all the defensive guys left, and then defensively they weren't as good. So, Kid,
you went through that twice now, because if I'm not mistaken, the Phoenix Cardinals at that time, was that like the Tim Rosenbach and Johnny Johnson? That was that era, right?
Yep. Tim Rosenbach, Chris Chandler.
Aging Drew Hill at that time, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I remember that. That's crazy.
Yep. And my first 3 years in the league were identical to my second three, record-wise. And the same thing happened. So after we went 7-9, they ended up the Cardinals got rid of Joe Bugle, brought Buddy Ryan in. He came in and cleaned house, brought all his old Bear buddies back. And then I went to the Bengals. It was the same thing: 3-13, 4-12, 7-9. Fired Dave Shula. Next thing I know, that's when they start shuffling people, and that's when the business side I started to experience the business side. So at that time, I was ready to get out. And then the Bengals badmouthed me because I wouldn't take a pay cut. And then
it wasn't your fault.
Yeah, and then I went to the Redskins for that year, and they had I don't know if you remember the big defensive tackle Sean Gilbert was holding out. They had franchise tagged him, and I didn't realize he lived in Pittsburgh. Well, we played Pittsburgh in week 2, so they met with him at the hotel. He said he was going to sign, so I was the only guy in the room without guaranteed money. So they cut me. And then I left, and then like 2 days later, he changed his mind, and they tried to call me back, but I was already in Kansas City.
Right, okay.
So the last 3 years for me was strictly business, and it stunk. And that's why I usually try to look at it from the player's perspective before I answer certain questions, because I went through a lot of it too, all the moving around, living in hotels. And when I was with the Redskins, Norv Turner told me, he was like, Ruck, the guy said you're still in the hotel. I said, yeah, because I just got here and I don't know how long I'm going to be here. I said, my agent talks to me about the management piece, what you guys are trying to do, and signing Sean. And he was like, dude, you're not going anywhere. Get out of the hotel. So I go get a 9-month lease on a condo, and they cut me the next week.
So, you know what? And that's crazy you mentioned that, because
JB, before we break this down, I'm going to bring in our guys here. Better late than never. Our guy T-Nick's in the house. And I love the hat he's repping. Look at that hat. Look at that hat.
My man. Big Ruck. What's up, Big Ruck?
What's up, T?
I can't call it, man. I'm just trying to survive. Sorry I'm late, man. I had
we got you. I'm with the fellas.
Okay, yeah.
He's in good hands, of course.
My guys holding it down.
Take care of our guys.
Big Frank and JB, they hold it down, man. But I'm glad to see you, man. Grandpa.
Yeah, you better believe it.
You got some white beard too, though. He's got a little bit of white.
Just a little, man. That's mostly the reflection of the light. That's what that is.
Good excuse. Understandable now.
Yeah. You saw the pictures of the grandbaby, man?
I did, man. That's
Congratulations,
awesome.
Man.
That's
Congratulations.
awesome.
She is the world, dude.
That is great. So what's this like grandpa number 6? You grandpa
just
6
2.
Grand? Oh, just twice.
Yeah, just twice.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
8-year-old and an 8-month-old.
How you doing, girl?
Okay. And is the father Keith Jr.?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I remember Keith Jr. from camp.
Yeah. KJ. My guy.
Yeah.
Speaking of Cam, I'm not sure where you all are in the conversation, but
We
when
talked
is
about all of it.
Yeah, we
think-
already talked about that. It's this week, T.
Yeah, I think that's the same day as the Chosen Few again.
The 12th, and it's always the second weekend of July.
Yeah, it's the house picnic, the one that be messing it up because they all over the place. Man, $90 to get in. Screw them. Keep going.
Damn.
It's not $90.
Yeah, no, it is. It's $90 for a ticket. Go look it up. It definitely is $90.
72.
It's 90. Go look at it.
Wow, they must have just changed that.
So Keith, I wanted to break down. We had a few questions in the chat too that were asked towards you as well. We had Crooked Commish who put up one here. Was it hard to take it personal when a team would move on from you, or did you just realize that it's a job?
Well, the first two, the Cardinals and the Bengals was tough for me because of the relationships that I had built with the entire coaching staff. So when they got rid of the coaching staff and brought a new staff in, they just immediately start, getting rid of people. And the way Buddy Ryan let me go was crazy. I actually read about it in the newspaper before they told me.
See?
I was sitting in the hot tub like we did every morning and reading the newspaper, and one of my teammates was like, "Look, what you doing here?" Like he was the team joke cracker. So I was like, "What you mean?" And he turns the paper around and it says, "Long time Rucker release." And I'm like, "Damn." So I go get dressed. I'm sitting in my locker. Rex Ryan comes down and he looks at me. He's like, "Dad wants to talk to you." I said, "Yeah." He said, "How do you know?" And I just threw the paper at him.
Oh, wow.
So I went upstairs. I'm standing there with Buddy Ryan, and he extends his hand and says, "Hey, I want to give you a chance to prove me wrong." Because the first day I met him, he called me Fatso. And I was like, "So can you call me by the name my mother gave me at birth?" He was like, "Nah, I like Fatso better." So when he cut me, he told me, he said, "I want to give you a chance to prove me wrong." I said, "How is that?" He was like, "Because I don't think after you walk out of this office, you'll ever put on an NFL uniform again."
Damn.
Wow.
That was my first experience. And then my second one was the one.
Wait, was in Arizona?
That was in Arizona. Yeah. When Phoenix Cardinals, Buddy Ryan, when they brought him in. Because he was the guru, with the 46 defense, but he also had some dogs playing that 46 defense.
Well, certainly did.
That was his. But see, now let's be real though, because while he's talking all that, God rest his soul, he had been let go from the Eagles himself.
That's true.
So remember, he was just getting back on track, on solid ground.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to, wow, that's crazy.
But and here's a full circle story. So then I had, of course, the issue I talked to you guys about the Redskins. But in 2015 or 2014, I did an internship with the New York Jets, a coaching internship under Rex Ryan.
Oh, the son.
And he sat me down and was like, "Look, man, I'm going to tell you something. Before Dad passed, he said one of the biggest mistakes he made was cleaning house of those Phoenix Cardinals, because you guys had built something for 3 years, and then he just came in and tore it down." And I thought that was cool of Rex to share that with me, because he could have kept that one to himself if he really wanted to. But
right.
But yeah, and then it just came full circle, man. And next year I did an internship with the Bengals, and it's just hard to crack that NFL fraternity of coaching, boy. I'm telling you, they got so many buddies in there. And if one guy get fired and go get a job somewhere else, he's gonna bring his 18 buddies with him.
Yeah,
so
the good old boy network still exists.
Yeah, so that's why I rely on college. I enjoy that. I would like watching the kids play for something.
You know what? Touch on that just a little deeper with the Cardinals story, because when you went back to Washington and they were waiting on Sean, we remember Big Sean Gilbert, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you said you had went to Kansas City, though. Was that an already etched in stone deal, or was that one of those they were trying to get you before you signed?
They were trying to. Well, no, I had already signed.
Oh, you had already signed. Okay.
Yeah, so I had already signed, so I was going. So they called, because it took my agent like 2 days to get the deal done, and I was getting ready to actually fly out to Kansas City, And I just stayed in the hotel there again. Same thing there. Stayed in the hotel the whole season, and it was just time was winding down for me, and I can feel it because it wasn't fun anymore.
Mm-hmm. But that gave you a total of eight NFL seasons.
Eight total. Yeah.
Right. That's what I thought. Right. Yeah. Because then that team would have been is that Marty Schottenheimer?
Yep.
Yeah.
And Gunther Cunningham, coordinator.
Gunther was a problem.
Yeah. And we had Derek
Thomas. Yeah. Not Leslie O'Neal. What was the other big fella?
Neil Smith. And our DBs, we had your boy from Tennessee, Dale Carter. And James Hasty.
Deron Cherry on that team?
Who?
Deron Cherry, was he on that team as well? Or he came after?
No, he was after.
Okay.
Yeah, they had some big dogs for sure.
It was loaded. It was really loaded.
Oh, for sure. That was no, that wasn't. What was his name? Because it went DeBerg, Montana,
Gannon. And then he had
moved around. He had just left Minnesota.
Elvis Gerbach.
I remember him from Michigan. Yeah.
So Keith.
Yes, sir.
In this NFL of mostly soft,
marshmallow,
kind of, yeah, marshmallowy, kind of weak offensive lines.
Oh, you going there?
Some. I'm not saying all. I'm saying some.
You're saying the Bears.
I'm not getting to that yet. But I'm saying in this day of soft, marshmallowy, pansy offensive lines, where do you think you would fare if you played in today's NFL?
Keith would kill people.
That's what I'm thinking.
You'd kill people.
I would be all pro every year. I mean, if you think about it, my best games I feel like I had in my career were, think about playing in the NFC East back then.
Mm-hmm.
Cardinals playing Dallas Cowboys twice, New York Giants twice, and the Philadelphia Eagles. And that's when they had
Washington
running backs. And the Redskins. They had running backs, and you knew that's what the game was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I know we had the first 300-pound defensive line in NFL history, and Emmitt Smith to this day don't like us because he never got over 100 against us. And we played them twice a year. I think I'd still be pretty dominant now. They look a lot different, so I'm not sure how that would fare. Like they are like 6'9" and 6'8" now. Back then, it was like 6'3", 6'4" across the board on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. So like some of my better games were against like Nate Newton. Trying to think of the one dude. He from the 49ers. Oh, God. He was a freaking monster. Then he went to Detroit and played. But he was the strongest guy I've lined up against. And everybody said, don't let him get his hands on you. I went out there, thought I was going to shake him down and make a move. And he's like, come here. And that's where I stayed. I mean, he was the real deal, man.
Here.
But yeah, I think the game's just different now. I don't think they got enough power in the game now. It's just mass, big dudes.
Well, that's what I was gonna say for you, Keith. Though at 6'4", 3+, like you had a lot of strength.
Yes,
and that's what I was wondering. Like to Terrence's point, like playing today, just as a 1 or a 3 technique, right?
Mm-hmm.
The essence of the game back then was to stop the run. Now you just gotta tackle one person for a loss and then pressure the quarterback. Just get him off his square for like a half a second, and you're all pro if you do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I know just from watching old tape, taking on a double team, bam, here, you can wrap them up already. And it's not the flashy. You don't get the 20 Aaron Donald sacks and all that kind of stuff. But It's like, you're not running in that gap.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was the thing. It was, we were gap sound. We played together. We understood our roles. And now you look, and the difference is now is you got these tall, longer, leaner defensive linemen that's playing inside. They ain't got no big 340, 50-pounders no more in there on the shade and the 3. They got a stockier guy than the guy that's playing ends, but now those ends have moved up from being an outside linebacker.
Right.
And so now they're
the
just
Kevin Greens, the Greg Lords,
yes,
them guys.
So they just changed the dynamic of the game. So, but like you said, back then it was, I mean, that old saying, 3 yards in a cloud of dust when I played. So now it's like, you know, everything, all of this moving and trying to outnumber and change numbers, and the game has changed a lot. So I mean, even at the college level, or Division III college level, our guys are watching what the big boys do on Saturday, and we're trying to somehow form fit that to our personnel, because the game has changed so much. Where it used to be, give me a fullback, give me a tailback, give me a tight end, give me a couple receivers, and give me a quarterback that can sling the ball, can run it if he needs to, or turn around and hand it off. Used to be a simple game, but not anymore.
Yeah,
and it's funny.
Right on that.
Right, and it's funny how the people that just won the Super Bowl did that formula.
Yes.
Philadelphia did that exact formula.
Absolutely.
Yep. It still works.
It does. It
Keith, let me ask you this. Do you follow like the Bears at all now, present?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Not,
no.
Not really. Do you follow that much of the NFL now?
I don't know if I like the way he said. No.
You know, I hear one of my brothers who's a huge Bear fan. I hear him talk about the Bears all the time. And it's almost like what we got going on in Cincinnati. It's like we either got one good side of the ball and not a good side of the ball, or vice versa. And everybody's like, man, we can get back to the Super Bowl now. I said, well, we got to still stop people from scoring points.
Yeah, I mean, when you're losing,
unless we're going to score 50 every week.
Yeah, and that's not going to happen. 50.
Right.
You guys have a great offense. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But, I mean.
And then they don't want to sign Trey Hendrickson and all. I mean, it's just.
Yeah, there were all these rumors saying Trey Hendrickson to the Bears. And I'm like sitting there, I'm just like, I mean, would I love it? Yeah, I'd love it. I'd be stupid to say that I wouldn't love it. But, I mean, who are you giving up? Because we can't afford another $100+ million end. We just paid Sweat that money.
And here's the issue we have, too, with Hendrickson. He's still got a year left on his deal.
Yeah.
Right, so he's right.
He's holding out pretty much until he gets a new contract.
And that's the piece that drives me crazy. I did an interview for my camp here a couple months ago, and the guy was just coming back from the Bengals stadium practice because his boss said Trey Hendrickson was going to be there. So he shows up to see this guy practice, and they said Trey Hendrickson walked out with flip-flops, shorts, and a polo on like he had just left the golf course. And he's like, I'm not practicing. And then left like the last day of camp, he walked out in the middle of practice.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's just more of that shit.
Drives me crazy, man.
I know. I don't believe in that type stuff. Play out your contract.
Yeah.
Like I don't agree with the negotiating your contract. If the owners want to negotiate, okay, that's one thing. But I still don't even think they should. You have to play out your contract. And I know I always joke around with like a good old Adam Sandler movie where he punched the one quarterback in the face. He said he wanted to renegotiate his contract, and he was like, well, if I play better, I think you should give me more money. And I was just like, and I 100% agree with this. I was like, okay, if that's going to be the true thing, then we should be able to pay you less if you don't live up to your contract. Then we'll play that game.
That's tough, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, the reason I was bringing up the Bears now, because we did have a question in the chat about, do you think Caleb Williams will be the first 400,000-yard pass rusher from the Bears history?
400,000. Wow.
400,000. Yeah, that'd be a good season, wouldn't it? 4,000 passing yards in a season. Bears have never had it.
Really?
We've never had it in history. Who was the closest one? Jay Cutler at 38, I think?
No. Eric Kramer.
Eric Kramer.
It was still Kramer. Okay, it was still Kramer at 38. Okay.
Golly, that's bad.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
Damn, man.
I didn't know that.
Especially since the passing football has pretty much come out, what would you say, like 2010 is where it started really getting a lot more bigger into passing, and we still can't even get a 4,000-yard pass.
Damn.
It's unfreaking believable.
Yeah, I don't know about that question.
Yeah,
I have to do some homework.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it is. I mean, you had a rookie quarterback last year. He got his ass whooped the entire season because they had one of the worst offensive lines. He made mistakes. I still feel, and I know I'm pretty sure everyone on the panel agrees with me on this one too. I didn't expect Caleb Williams to come out and have a 5,000-yard rookie of the year type season. He was going to be a great quarterback right from the get-go. I did. Nobody thought you didn't think it was going to happen either. You just said the playoffs. That's all you said. But when it came down to that, and I was just like, he still had a better season than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if I'm not mistaken, what did he finish with? It was like 30, 36, 37 all-purpose is what it was, right?
No, it was over 4,000 all-purpose.
It was over 4,000 all-purpose? Okay.
It was like 35
passing.
Like 3,560-some yards passing, and then like another 4-something rushing.
Caleb is going to have a good season.
I think he will, too. I mean, it's going to
have a good season. But let's remember, everybody is new, brand new.
Coaches, brand new players,
brand new wide receivers coach, brand new running backs coach. Everybody's new.
The only thing it's going to be something different.
It's the same owner.
Well, but Keith, like you stated earlier, when a new regime comes in and changes house, the record doesn't just you were 10. Let's say you were 10-6.
That's the skyrocket.
The record doesn't just stay 10-6, or now you're 12-4. It doesn't.
I think they're gonna have a much better year next year.
That's
not
gonna happen.
And
now I will say, I don't think they're gonna be just a below average team anymore. I don't think that. I think they might end up like 9-8, maybe.
That was my choice, 9-8. That's what
I'm gonna ask you this, Keith, because you're going through something similar, not apples to apples, but you're going through something similar in your backyard with they can't protect Joe Burrow.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe Burrow throws for 4,500 yards and 40 touchdowns and is sacked 50 times and stuff and doesn't have a defense. Also, with the Bears now, our quarterback sacked 68 times. I'm sorry, he's not the sharpest from the shoulders up. I'm just calling it what it is. And now you got a new coaching regime and a new head coach that needs to still learn how to be a head coach.
Yeah.
That does not scream playoffs to me.
But I want to say this before you answer that, Keith, because I love you, JB, but he always leaves out a key thing in that conversation when he says it. Yes, he needs to learn how to be a coach. They went and got a defensive coordinator who was a head coach. They went out and got a guy, Eric Bieniemy, is their running backs coach. He doesn't take that bullshit. All right, they got an experienced wide receiver coach. They surrounded him with so much experience to help him get to that level. Where our head coach that we got now is pretty much an offensive guru. All right, he's had the best offense for 3 years straight in Detroit. That's our new head coach. We brought him in to run the offense.
Mm-hmm.
They brought in pieces with him to help him become a head coach. Yep.
Well, I think you're only as strong as your assistants. And with the experience, it sounds like he surrounded himself with. Yeah. There is definitely a possibility of some success. I didn't know EB was there.
Yeah. He's the running backs coach.
He's the running backs coach.
But they brought him in to be that veteran coaching guy.
We don't know what they brought him in for.
Yeah, anymore though, too. I think when head coaches in the NFL hire coordinators and they just kind of manage everything, I think those are the situations that fans should want, because what it does is now it gives you a person who's really in charge instead of two people trying to make calls against each other. So like Zach, I think Zach Taylor is like calling the calls now. I don't think his coordinator makes any calls, which is bad because then it takes away from other stuff that he could be doing.
Great.
So sometimes that's how they try to build those. And that's what, again, I was talking to a guy one of my former coaches, and he was telling me about how they kind of got shooed out of the NFL, the older coaches. And it blew me away because when he started talking, I'm like, what is he talking about? But then he started talking about he was actually working in the NFL office for a while, and he had a closed door sit down with somebody and said, are they phasing us out? And they were like, yes, they are. So that's where all the young coaches start popping in. And I mean, the older guys ain't got a chance. And if you look, I'm sure it ain't that many still around other than like a Pete Carroll or a Marvin Lewis every now and then.
You still have one of the best coaches still winning Super Bowls with you and Andy Reid as well, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He's in a class by himself.
Yes, I mean it's Andy Reid and then everybody else. That's pretty much how.
But Keith, I want to bring this to your attention too, because I see you pondering and based on what you just said. But the days of the retread are fading.
Yes,
they're definitely fading, and some with good reason, because some people are just bad, and you keep getting coaching jobs. Like we deal with that in Chicago all the time.
Yes,
but
me too.
With the new regime, Ben Johnson being the head coach, offensive guru, his offensive coordinator has never been an offensive coordinator before, so we know he's just a place filler.
Yeah.
Right.
The thing about let me rely on Dennis Allen, my D coordinator, who has been a head coach before. Okay, yeah, but he sucked as a head coach.
Some people are better coordinators than your head coach.
But my point is, as a new coach, I just want you to call defense because you can't tell me nothing about a head coach because you sucked at being a head coach.
Right.
You can't tell me nothing about it.
And I understand where you're going with this, but let's not forget Vic Fangio helped Matt Nagy, and then Vic Fangio left. Matt Nagy sucked.
That's not the same.
But I guess Vic Fangio was never a head coach before that, too.
Vic Fangio was not a head coach.
The same.
Frank,
it helps.
Frank, that is a good point, though.
Yeah.
Because with the comments you just made about some guys are good coordinators but not head coaches, that was how I felt about Buddy Ryan.
Yeah.
Except for those 2 years in Philly, he was just a good coordinator. He was not a good head coach. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's okay. But right now, the one thing that everybody is overlooking is Ben Johnson has to find his own lane.
Agreed.
He's got to find his own way to run this thing to the best of his ability. Because if it doesn't go his way and he fails, he's going to be looked at as he wasn't ready to be a head coach.
Yeah.
You gotta fall on the sword you brought to the fight.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate because and that's how you brought up, Keith, as far as them like pretty much getting rid of all the older hard-nosed type coaches, and I do agree that is happening. And you look at all these modern coaches who are doing so well, especially in the NFC North. If I'm not mistaken, everyone's around 40 years old in the NFC North as a head coach. And you do got the Green Bay Packers; they can go fuck themselves, but you do got the Green Bay Packers who do have a great head coach. In my opinion, that's the only reason Kevin Love is a semi-okay quarterback, because they have a great head coach. You got the Vikings who have a great head coach who just made a freaking supposed bust look like a freaking Pro Bowler this past year with the Minnesota Vikings.
Kevin O'Connell is a damn genius.
But then you could also look at Sean McVay. He did the same thing. The offensive coordinator, and he won a Super Bowl. It's just
agreed.
It's just where the NFL is going.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Andy Reid still has most of the Super Bowls.
Yeah.
All these other young ones who are getting close, they still can't beat Andy Reid.
Yes, sir.
So the Ben Johnson is following the same trend, right? Would you all say that they're following the same trend? Because Ben Johnson is like 38 years old.
Oh, as far as the age, but
as far as age, as far as like being some kind of offensive or defensive guru, and he's coming in taking over a failing team.
But it's a failing team that has talent, and I think that's what we've always talked about as Bears fans. They feel they do have a quarterback. He came here.
Do have talent.
Yeah, They feel like
Absolutely.
he came here because he likes Caleb Williams and the way he plays quarterback in his game. They got a number one receiver in DJ Moore. You went out and just drafted with the 10th overall pick another number one receiver in Rome Odunze. Then you go out and get a tight end who's like his tight end Laporta over in Detroit. Like, I mean, they are loaded with weapons. The only thing they didn't have was offensive line, which everybody on this panel agreed. You bring this coach over here, it's not going to matter if you can't protect your quarterback.
Yes.
Let me ask you all this.
He had a great.
Let me sum up the offensive line.
But they did
Our
give
offensive
three-
line.
Hold on, before you go up to the offensive line,
Marshall Mellowee,
hold on.
soft, and not in sync. Not in sync at all.
That's the
Go ahead,
we don't have that line no more. I'm saying we don't have that line no more. Thank God, that's gone. We just hope this new
That's been the line
gels.
for the last 10 years.
But I wanted to know from Keith to T to Frank, apples to oranges is still fruit. What is the difference in Mike McDonald going to the Dolphins, offensive greatness, mastermind guru, and Ben Johnson coming to the Bears? You cannot have success without what?
Offensive line.
No,
Oh,
without.
you mean experience? Yeah, I know what you mean. Okay. Yeah.
It
And
takes time.
Yeah, and I understand that. But you're also not and I agree with it. He was a horrible head coach. He was a better offensive coordinator. Let's hope that does not happen with us again this year. But then you're ignoring LaFleur in Green Bay.
No, I'm not saying I hope it.
Like,
I
it
want
can't
him
happen.
to succeed. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
we as Bears fans get on this high horse like it's going to be great. And then when it's not, we feel
that's
dejected
Bears
like
fans.
there's not two sides to a coin.
Yeah.
It's like we have to temper our expectations and say, you know what? I'm so glad we got an offensive guy to come in here and take us to the 21st century. Yeah, we had that before it didn't work out. Let's hope it works out this time. Yeah, we had it before it didn't work out time. Let's hope it works out this time.
Yeah, but
we had it again. It didn't work out.
It's a trend for sure, and I understand it. It's a normal.
No more reboots.
Chicago Bears always fuck shit up. Like, I mean, just for instance, how we were talking about our quarterback, they just fuck shit up all the time, like most Chicago sports teams do. But you also got to play, and this is where I'm going. And may she rest in peace. I'm not saying anything negative, but Virginia McCaskey passing. Then you have a Kevin Warren in there who seems like he just said, hey, George, sit your ass down, enjoy the name, be the owner. I'm running this fucking team. This is my team to choose now. I got a GM who I'm trusting, who is making the picks that is going to help build this new GM. You went out and spent money on the best head coach available. When the fuck have the Bears ever done that? I don't think they've ever done that.
They did it with John Fox, and
John Fox was still aging though. Like, I mean, he had like 1-2 good years, but they didn't spend money on him.
But I'm saying
like nobody else wanted it.
That's incorrect, Frank. John Fox came off of a Super Bowl with two different teams and two different conferences. John Fox was a solid go get. And then, like I keep telling you all, back in '97, and Keith, you can fact check me because you were there. After the Cowboys won their Super Bowls, Dave Wannstedt was the hottest name on the market, right?
Well, you're talking about 1997. We're in 2025 right now.
I'm saying the Bears have done it. I'm not saying they do it consistently, but they have done it, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is you go get this particular guy
that every team wanted, though.
But then maybe the square peg in the round hole effect things happen, and then we looking like he wasn't ready or he was a bum or this, that, and the third. I'm hoping that doesn't happen with Ben Johnson. But what I want to ask Keith is this, because it all starts with that number 13.
What up,
How do you feel about Caleb Williams? And it's a free show. Be honest, because I already see that look like I got the. Don't filter yourself.
Keith, before you answer that too, the Bears did go out and get 3 very good offensive linemen.
Oh, Frank, don't try to do that.
I'm not denying that.
It's about Caleb Williams. It ain't about nothing else. It's
right.
just about how
Protecting him is going to help him, though.
I think like we talked earlier when I
13.
talked
Kirk,
about,
he's changing his number back.
When I talked about Jeff Blake and having all those tools around.
Love Jeff Blake.
That helps, but I don't know. I haven't watched him enough to say he can consistently be the leader they need, because that's what you need. You need somebody that's going to take over that locker room and that's going to lead. Now, I don't know if he's doing that because I haven't followed him that much, but I mean, it sounds like he's got the pieces in place. And if that coaching, the new coaching staff can get themselves on the same page as the players and get them to do the things that, I mean, be an extension of a coach on the field, then they got a shot. But I mean, I don't know, man. That's a tough one right there, JB.
I'm gonna be honest with you, and they know how I am.
Yeah, we know. We got to.
I do not think he's all that yet. Not to say he can't become that, but currently he is not all that. He was the number 24th ranked, I believe, 24th or 28th ranked quarterback last year.
Damn.
He was top 3 in the fourth quarter.
62% completion percentage.
It was top 3 in the fourth quarter.
What does that matter, Frank?
That matters a lot because that's your closer that you want at quarterback.
Okay, so let him not play the first 3 quarters and bring him in as a closer like a relief quarterback. Like, damn it, don't let him.
That was allowed. Shit, I take it, but when we don't have a starter.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, see, this is where I say the fandom gets skewed because now it's like you always try to find something that he did very, very well, which is not
try to find something he did very, very wrong.
No, I just give the stats. I didn't say what he did wrong. I said he's the 28th ranked quarterback in the NFL. That really happened. I don't care about his fourth quarter stats. You remember 28, and you only completed 62% of your passes. 62%, Ruck. You know that's considered bad.
It is.
Hey Keith, he finished the season with 1.9 seconds to throw.
He was a rookie, man.
1.9 seconds.
Now he's a rookie.
What was that stat?
1.9 seconds he finished off the season this year to throw the football.
I challenge that.
That's what the NFL listed it as, 1.9 seconds.
I think you should look that up.
When you had an offensive coordinator who do not throw slants, 1-2 step drop throws or anything like that, didn't throw quick passes.
Because when you say hike and engage, that's a second and a half, right, Ruck? That's what they teach you, that 1.5, remember?
Yes.
So you're telling me from hike to engagement, 0.4 seconds later, they on this. It's a little longer than that, Frank. It's a little longer than that.
I'm just going by a stat.
I think somebody made that stat. And they were.
I mean, the NFL made the stat. It's on the NFL's website.
I think somebody's having a little bit of fun. 1.9 has. I don't think that's ever happened.
Damn.
That's literally like hike, sack.
I mean, and I'm not saying Caleb Williams, he needs to get better. I mean, he needs to read, process faster and everything like that. A lot of those times where he did get sacked, he brought it upon himself, where he was just taking too damn long to move. And especially when we did just come off of a quarterback who did scramble a lot, who was really good with his legs. Caleb doesn't like to use his legs nearly as much unless he's trying to run away from pressure. But it was 1.9 seconds per pressure is what he had, is what the NFL showed it as. So
I think JB is still stuck on Justin Fields, man. I think that since Caleb is not playing since he didn't play like Justin Fields, then he's gonna look for everything that's wrong with him.
Didn't play like Justin Fields. Didn't play like Justin Fields. I don't want that.
No, I'm saying
JB's not wrong on that. Justin Fields was not playing like a Justin Fields because we didn't utilize him like a Justin Fields.
Right.
No, but
I just want realistic expectations and let the kid grow.
What I'm saying
4,030 his rookie year.
God damn it! What I'm saying is Justin Fields was a scrambler. He would get out that jam. Caleb Williams, not so much. That's why he took 68 sacks. So if Caleb Williams was half of what Justin Fields was, JB would not be so hard on him. JB is hard on Caleb Williams. You are pretty hard on Caleb Williams. He was a effing rookie, man. Cut him some slack.
And he improved throughout the entire season.
Hey Keith, they gonna make me do this, and I love you, brother, but watch this. He was a rookie. So was he.
So? I mean,
So was
there's
he.
always
Everybody on this
So
panel,
was Bo Nix, who had better numbers. But I mean, I'm just
everybody
saying.
on this panel said Jaden Daniels is going to be a better rookie quarterback. I said he was going to be a better
I'm just saying you can't play the rookie card for him, but not play the rookie card for the others, right, Keith?
Coaching makes a big difference.
That is true.
Coaching makes a big difference.
Rookies are rookies.
Wait, so
Rookies are
I don't understand how I'm not playing the rookie card for Jay Daniels. He was a rookie too.
He had a
So
great year.
how I don't
Really?
get it.
No, you can't sit up here and say that the number 1 overall pick, who was supposed to come and set the world on fire as a rookie, just because he didn't meet expectations, now you blame it on, he didn't hit the 4,030 mark because he's a rookie. But then you get another rookie and another rookie who did hit the marks and took their teams to the playoffs. Which one is it?
Teams, different competition.
Sean Payton was a head coach of one of them. And the other head coach I wanted on the Bears over Eberflus.
Now that we have a coach, watch Caleb.
I need Caleb to get better here. He's good here. I need him to get better here.
It's good here, too, in the fingers.
What, with his pink nail pop? Man, that's another story. You go.
Come on, man.
You trick me.
Come on, man. Why you even do that?
Frank, he fights through the lob, and Hey, Keith.
Why you even do that, man?
Hey, my bad, Keith. You see what he did to me?
Yeah, I saw that.
Perfect, though, man. I got it good.
Wow.
Hey, JB, what color is your nail polish today?
Never.
Fingernail, natural.
I don't even like them touching. Man, get off me.
I bite the shit out of my fingernails, and that's because of the Bears.
Maybe that's what's wrong with my brother's hands.
He bites them.
Yeah, it looks bad, boy.
Man, I just wish people weren't so hard on him. He was a rookie. He didn't have a great coach. He didn't have a great coach. He didn't have a great line. I mean, he didn't have Justin Fields' legs. Sorry. But I just think people are hard on him. But this season, he got to show up. He got to show up. He got to show something. Because like you said earlier, Keith, he has all these pieces around him. And put all these pieces around him, he has to do something. He has to. But I believe he will. I believe he will. And I believe Odunze will show up as the number 1 receiver. And the Bears will be over a 500 team.
For playoffs again?
A little over. No, I'm not gonna.
I was about to get on your behind because you was the main one last year as a rookie. Playoffs.
Yeah, I know.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can.
Don't give me that he's a rookie shit now. Last year he was like playoffs.
That was the fan in me.
Not one other person
wanted them to get to the playoffs.
You said it.
I really wanted them to get to the playoffs. Yes, I steady said it every episode. Playoffs. Every episode.
Even when they were like out of the playoffs, you still said playoffs.
You smoke crack, don't you? You smoke crack, don't you?
No, I don't.
It's the white on your beard.
Okay. But
do you have a record for us? Because I want to know. Because the trench work is still the most important out of all of this.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a record for the Bears? Even though they got 3 new linemen, everybody's like, "Yeah, we got all pros." Yeah, they got a jail too. They got to learn each other.
I'm gonna say 500.
And that's around 8 and 9, 9 and 8. That's about where they should be coming up. Right? Hell, 5 and 12 last year. You got to go up. Ain't nowhere else to go but up.
They better fucking.
Well, there is somewhere else to go.
Yeah, they could go somewhere else.
We don't want to go there.
I'm telling you now, if the Bears have less than 5 wins, it's some bunch of people need to go. Poles
will be fired if it.
Hey, look, here.
There's no question.
Heads need to roll.
Oof, man,
you ain't spent all this money to go less than. First of all, you ain't spent all this money to do duplicate what you did last year.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean,
gotta see some improvement.
we did all say
Trajectory has to be trending up.
This is all new coaching staff. I would be happy with a 500 season this year as long as I see improvement, as long as I see them working hard, which we didn't get shit's worth of that last year. And I feel this offseason, from coaching to players, personnel, still questioning our draft pick of our tight end. I'm still not 100% sure on that. Hopefully I'm wrong on that. But the Bears made the right moves to improve. But again, JB, you say this all the time, and I agree with you. This is third year in a row we won the offseason.
Is Braxton Jones still on the roster?
Yes. Hey, Ruck, we don't have a left tackle.
I mean, we did draft one last year.
He don't even really play.
And we drafted another one this year.
Look at my face when you say Braxton Jones.
Look at Ruck's face right now. Hey, Ruck, you like, wait, no left tackle? I got one more season in me. No, I got one more game. I got one more game against the Bears.
That's bad. That's scary, man. No, you gotta have a left tackle, man. Come on now.
Got Braxton Jones had one good highlight. Do you all remember when I think DeAndre Swift? That's
when he took the pull. Yeah,
he was running the ball.
He laid that guy.
Braxton Jones flattened somebody.
Flattened a little safety.
So I don't care.
I'm not saying it's bad because it's still hard to block little guys.
I was saying he still planted him. That was his only good highlight.
Ooh, that's a great question, Crook. Ruck, who was your favorite player? Because that's 5 teams, right?
Favorite teammate?
I got one in mind, but I could be wrong.
I'm gonna say Eric Swan.
Okay.
Big Phoenix Cardinals. Big Eric.
Yeah.
Big.
And he still look like that now.
Oh, dude, he's like 50 something.
I saw him if you saw him now, you'd think he was one of the current players.
So why was he your favorite to play with?
Because he was raw, and he hadn't. I don't know if you remember his situation. He was a Prop 48 guy.
Yeah, because he only played 2 years, right?
Yep, and he went and played for he lost his eligibility because he went and played for a semi-pro team.
Yep,
that was getting paid.
Money. Yep,
and then the next year he was the 7th pick in the draft.
Yep,
he was just raw, and I love because he was young, energetic. And the reason I say that, the difference is between the other guys I played with, and it's always going to be either a linebacker or the guy that plays next to me. We also had a great set of linebackers in Tyrone Stowe and Eric Hill out there.
Eric Hill was a monster.
And but I played in Cincy with a guy that was an inside guy that was really selfish. Played with some good linebackers, but they were not team players. And then when I went to Washington, I got to play with, he played in Arizona with me. I mean, here was our defense in Arizona. Me, Eric Swan, Mike Jones, Freddie Joe Nunn, Ken Harvey.
Joe Nunn, yeah.
Ken Harvey, who was up? Oh, Tyrone Stowe. Tim McDonald was our safety. Mike Zordish was a safety. Robert Massey was one of our cornerbacks, and Steve Lofton. Just loaded. But then you had
defense was.
Then you got our offensive line was old as shit, and then quarterback was old as shit. Rosenbaugh,
I remember that's what I said earlier. Tim Rosenbaugh, he was like 40 then.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, and our offensive line, I don't know if you remember Mark May. We called him the 10 man because he wore them big knee braces.
Yeah, I remember Mark May. He Phoenix and Washington, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. He was one of the Hogs. Yep. So it was. That's why Eric was my guy. Eric
was big, like 6'6", 300 at the deep end.
Yeah, like 315.
like Reggie White type.
He had that straight. And I'm
defensive
sure y'all
coordinator
probably
in the
remember.
Jazz.
Y'all remember his game against the Bears, right?
Oh God. Oh God.
I was just thinking about this. He had like 6 sacks.
I was about to say that was one of them games where it's like, can somebody get 98? Anybody?
Yes.
Somebody get 98?
Yeah.
Well, the problem was multiple people were getting 98. They just fucking hugging it.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
whoever
Yeah,
that center was. He got torched that game.
Because you was the one, if I'm not mistaken. You was the one. He was the 3, right?
Yeah, I wasn't with him in that game though.
You wasn't with him in that game. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you was already gone to Cincy.
Yeah, I was already in Cincy.
Okay.
So who was the center for the Bears around that time? Like Jerry Fontenot?
I don't remember who it was, but it was a bad night to watch him.
He was
That would have been like 95, 96, right?
Yep.
It might have been. It might have been
Jerry Fontenot, man.
Yeah,
because I remember when Hilgi left and went to the Saints.
No, I mean,
And we had
Fontenot was the starting center from like 95 through 97.
That's what I'm saying. He wasn't terrible, but
yeah, the Bears have so many people that you can say they weren't terrible.
Well, especially at quarterback.
It's not very many you can say.
no, that was
He was cold.
Oh,
He was cold.
Olin Kreutz. He was
no.
One.
Yeah, Olin Kreutz.
One.
Oh, what is his name? Was that Oh, what is his name?
If we knew his name.
Not Mike Tomzak. What was the other quarterback after? Not Harbaugh. I think I remember who it was because that was under Wanstead's watch, right?
I believe so.
When Swan had that 6 sacks, I'm trying to think who was the quarterback. We were like, man, just throw it away. It was my sophomore year of college.
Yeah, I don't know.
Steve Walsh?
Might have been Walsh. Walsh out of Miami. Might have been Walsh.
It wasn't Steve Walsh, I don't think.
If I'm not mistaken, that was 96, 97 season, right?
I don't know. They got
Yeah.
their ass busted, whoever it was.
I'm trying to remember because it wasn't Cade McNown.
No, McNown was later than that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Later than that.
Now I want to know who it was.
It might be Walsh, man. All right.
Yeah, you got the quick anyway, Frank, because I'm not. Hey, but you know what? I was gonna say, Ruck. I was gonna say only because of the cachet that you went to Kansas City with the Neil Smith and Derek Thomas. Like them boys was disaster or something. That front 7 was different.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much on the back end, but that front 7 was different. You know, that's what I was saying. Maybe when I said I had somebody in mind, thinking that you playing with them guys because they were interchangeable. They had the NASCAR package before that we knew what the NASCAR.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
they sure did. And I think that was kind of a lot of the turnaround with the defensive ends looking different than they normally look. Like big, strong dudes that can rush the edge. When you had DT, who's, quick. I ain't never seen nobody would get off on the ball like him. And
I think he still holds the record for the most sacks in one game, 7 or 8, something like that, right?
7 against Seattle.
Against Seattle. Oh, not John Freeze. What was his name? Tall quarterback.
Seattle?
Yeah. Because I can see the running back in my Warren. Warren was the running back.
Oh yeah, Chris Warren.
I can see it now. Yeah. Largent was still playing. Oh, Steve Stenstrom?
That's who I think it was, yeah.
God.
Yeah, I looked it up. That was the one, Steve Stenstrom.
Steve Stenstrom.
Oh,
He played 7 games and got sacked so freaking much in 7 games.
Oh
Hey.
my God.
What is he? Is he mentally okay right now? Steve Stenstrom?
We'll have to check a milk carton.
Look, he can't see a swan on TV. He can't see swan baking cake bake mix. He can't see nothing but a swan. He can't see Dove. He having flashbacks. Yeah. Wow, Steve's man, Ruck, we didn't have some people here.
Yes. Sound like it.
Quite a few. And as I was saying before, very few that we could say, man, he was cold. Very few, at least in my lifetime. Very few.
Well, right, Kurt. You never seen the movie Black Swan. Y'all
I didn't get it.
Oh, no. Andrea, no. He didn't get sacked more than Caleb. He
only played 7 games,
in
just
one
got
game.
Destroyed, yeah.
6 by one person, 6 times.
So, Ruck, where can we find you at camp, man? Where's the camp going to be at?
It's going to be at Homewood Flossmoor again.
Homewood Flossmoor.
At the suburb. It's a suburb. It ain't no city.
It is.
That's where I played hockey, was out of Homewood Flossmoor. I played at the hockey rink.
I don't think I did.
Yeah, I sent it to you.
I don't think I did.
Yep.
So it's going to be in the same place.
Same place. Yeah, I sent it to you Thursday. Yeah, it's gonna be in the same place, having a meet and greet, same thing, on Friday night. And then I'm gonna be in town through the beginning of next week because I have a family reunion in Chicago next weekend.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's dope. Okay.
So I'm gonna just stay up there and spend the time with family before everything get going and over with. Because when I get back, football will be rolling.
Okay, cool.
Yep, I gotta go do this event tomorrow for the Bengals up at University of Dayton.
Oh, nice. The Flyers.
They're gonna have a 7-on-7 tournament up there, and then they wanted me to come and speak to some of the kids. They got like 4 teams at at these different locations, so I'm gonna get them one of my speeches, my testimony speeches about how important football is, and things it teaches you. How to get along with people from all different walks of life. That's kind of the story I tell. I went to 5 high schools and 4 colleges.
Please give us more.
So growing up, we lived in Country Club Hill. So I went to Rich Central with Kendall. We was talking about that with Kendall Gill. And then we got evicted out of our condo, and so my mom moved us out to Frankfurt. So I went to Lincoln Way my second semester, my freshman year. Mm-hmm. And then me and my brother and sister were the only minorities in the school. And so they weren't going to school, but I went to school because I was doing sports. So it didn't bother me. So my brother found out they wasn't going to school. So he came home and got me as the oldest sibling, and I was the youngest. Took me back to Milwaukee where he was in Marquette Dental School. And he put me in a high school there, which was my 3rd high school, my sophomore year. That school closed, and then he bused me out to a school where I was the only black again in the school.
Twice? That's twice that happened to you?
Yep, freshman and junior year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then he graduated from Marquette, moved to Cleveland to do his residency, and I finished my 5th high school there at Shaker Heights High School in Cleveland. And then I went to Eastern Michigan.
Right, we knew that.
And got caught up in a pretty crooked program there. And then I ended up losing my scholarship, came home and went to Thorne Community College for a semester, went to Prairie State for a semester. And then my brother drove me back to Ohio where one of his college coaches was the head coach. And I went there over Christmas break and visit and never left until I left for the Cardinals.
Right.
So been around, seen a lot of people, a lot of different friends.
Yeah.
I mean, I can talk to and work with anybody in this world. barring a language barrier. But other than that, I feel comfortable.
That's a serious testimony, man.
It's been good, man. Been good. Growing up without a dad. Dad passed when I was 1.5 years old.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
Oh man,
living from Mississippi, man. But the other piece is like my siblings, my oldest brothers and sisters, all actually worked in the cotton field.
Really?
So we tried to get my mom to write that book before she passed, but yeah, he was like they had a choice: either go to school or take water to the people in the field picking cottons. And he chose to take water to the people in the field. And so we moved from down there, one family at a time, up to Chicago. And then settled at Harvey, and everybody that wanted to come came. My uncle went to the military, ended up moving out to San Diego. But everybody else is in the Illinois area. Yeah, wow. That was the upbringing, man. Youngest of 8, 4 boys, 4 girls.
Wow, that is a serious. I did not know this.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why we get together like that when I have my camp on that meet and greet that Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
So all the people that are responsible for where I ended up getting to.
Got you. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yep. Y'all, if you get a chance, swing on out, man. Just say hey, see what's going on.
JB, are you able to swing out to the meet and greet and then the camp on Saturday? Well, the camp.
Well, Friday I'll be able to make it. Saturday because I just learned it. If I'm back in town, because I'm supposed to go out of town this weekend, but it's not in stone yet. So if I'm here, I'm gonna come to the camp.
Yeah,
I already know. I Coach Alexander is still the coach at HF, right?
No.
That's new news.
I don't know what went on. Oh, he been gone. Because when I called him back in January to start setting everything up, he was like, I just wanted to let you know, man, I stepped down. But he's still working in the building, so I don't know what's going on. And he's now coaching over at Rich Township. Because they merged. How in the
world did that happen?
Because they merged all those schools.
Right. East, Central, and all that is now just one.
One of his old coaches that is the head coach there got him to swing over there once he stepped down at HF.
Wow. Oh.
But so we supposed to hook up because he was like, I ain't gonna come by camp. I said, I get it. I said, we'll hook up Monday or Tuesday before the reunion starts. So I'm gonna go try to grab a bite to eat with him. But we might be relocating though anyway, because I got a buddy of mine I went to college with who he owns, I think he said 100 Paneras and 95 Wendy's.
Wow.
And so he
say that again, 100 Paneras and 90. So the man owns almost 200 food chains?
Yep.
He must be doing well for himself. Shit.
Really?
Missouri, but he introduced me to the mayor of South Holland. And that guy was like, because he built a Panera there, and they actually talked him into building a strip mall to put it in. So he owns the whole complex. But he introduced me to this guy, and this guy is talking about doing some stuff with the NFL and the flag football league. So I'm gonna meet with them on Tuesday when I'm in town. So
you're coming prior to the camp, obviously, but you'll be here a little bit after the camp as well?
I'll be there until next week's Sunday.
Oh, you'll be here a long time.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to look for the flyer and post.
Yeah, I'm about to say 9-10 days here.
Yeah. What'd you say, T?
Shawnee was asking me, am I going to post a flyer somewhere? She may have some kids that want to come out. And I was just saying, yes, I'm going to look for it, and I'm going to post it right now on the Facebook group page and also our IG page.
Yes, sir. Right. Appreciate that.
Yeah, the camp is a lot of fun, Shawnee. It's a lot of fun. The kids would definitely enjoy it. Unfortunately, I can't get out there this weekend because it's the house picnic. But a few years ago, it did not fall on a house picnic, and I was able to go out there, and it was a lot of fun. The kids enjoyed it, and it was a big turnout on a Saturday.
Yep.
Well, 2 days, Saturday and a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Sunday, I think most of the kids went to church because it would
Our numbers drop. Our numbers usually drop on Sunday.
Yeah, it wasn't quite the same thing. I'm just talking it up till they went to church.
Yeah, I should probably start doing the handouts on Sunday. Maybe more kids will stick around.
Right, because on Saturday you get a lot of awards.
Yeah, awards. We got shoes. This is second year now. We got boxes of brand new Under Armour shoes. We got school supplies, backpacks, all that good stuff. So
damn.
And the barbecue. Woo!
Oh, yeah. Are you hoping those same people come out, man? I might have to leave the chosen few. That barbecue.
Yeah, the barbecue. My niece can do it.
Man.
Oh, right, because we met her 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Ref said he might try to come out. Yeah, Ref, that would be a good time, man. I think you got a lot of golden nuggets to drop to the kids. I think it'll be great if you go out, Ref.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's our resident ref. He refed in the NFL actually.
Okay.
He has a lot of great stories. He's also an actor. So he probably has stories from there too that he might share. But yeah, he got a lot of nuggets. So I hope he does. I hope he does come out.
Hey, Ruck, before we gotta let you go, I just have one question for maybe some of the tier. How do we get in touch with you for recruiting, just in case? You know, I work at a high school and I got some kids that are pretty good. Just wanted to see just another avenue for kids to have a chance, an opportunity, and for you also to have another school that you can peruse and look for kids at.
They can reach out to me at my website, KV.
The one we got before?
I don't know.
Not the website for the camp. This is a different one?
Yeah.
Let me write it down. Okay. Go ahead.
It's K as in Keith, V R U C K E R.
KVRUC
KER. Just my name.
Oh, duh. Okay.
At OWU. .edu.
Okay, great.
That goes right to my school site. They can get in touch with me, send me the highlight links, and we're a very high academic school. So usually the first question I'll ask is what's your cumulative GPA? Because if you're a 3.0 or higher, you get the biggest academic scholarship award that we offer, which is like $45,000 a year.
Oh, wow. Well, my kids are coming from the University of Chicago High School, so.
Oh, nice. Okay. So they know. Yep, that's what's up. That helps a lot with recruiting, man.
Yeah, I got you. I just, I like to keep that networking open no matter what.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. No doubt.
Anytime, brother. Anytime.
No doubt. All right. Well, I appreciate you fellas, man. I'm going to get ready to hit this hay so I can get up in the morning and make this drive to Dayton.
That's right.
True.
I appreciate you coming on, man. It was awesome.
Hey, I appreciate you guys always, man. If you guys come out, give me a holler, okay?
I'm going to try to get on Friday. If not, hopefully I can hook up while you're here.
Okay.
All right.
Definitely. All right, man.
All right. Talk.
Hey, come back.
I think he was already gone. But man, I hate that I was late, man, because that's my guy. I love Keith to death, man. But he's a really good dude, man. A monster, a big monstrous dude, but
great stories too.
Yes.
Remember when he was at camps? Great stories.
Absolutely great stories, man. And smart, really smart guy. Really smart. And you can see him think before he speaks. He'll sit back and his eyes roll back in the head before he says something sometimes. He's a really smart guy. And he doesn't just talk to just talk.
No.
Yeah.
So Lorenzo said, "Can you post the link?" I did better. So in the group, in the Facebook group, I posted the flyer. So you could just go to the group, check out the whole flyer. And his journey is worth a book. Definitely, man. And he played in a time when football players they spit on the ground and then somebody rubbed the elbow in it. That's back when he played, man. They were serious. In other words, they played some serious football. Play hurt, whatever. Football now, oh my God, it's for prima donnas. It's for babies. They when they sack you, they pick you up and carry you to your spot.
Mm-hmm. You got to put a pillow down first.
Right. Why not? I saw that. I saw that somewhere on Facebook.
Yeah, it was a little funny video of how to make somebody attack, like a little TikTok thing. That was like, you got to pick them up and then you put them down on a pillow, cover them with a blanket.
Yeah, that was hilarious, man. But yeah, not Keith, not when he played.
No.
When you saw that big old man running at you full speed,
That Coke machine.
You think twice. You would think twice. Oh man. But yeah, great dude. And I'm glad he came back. So if you have kids or you know someone that has kids interested in football, that camp is definitely the place that you want to take your kids to. Because they not only learn how to play football, but learn how to be a man. All right. So it is posted. So check it out. I posted it on my regular page and I also posted it in the group. So I hope you do get a chance to go. Ref, I hope you get a chance to go and Shawnee. I hope those kids that want to go, they have a great time. So, fellas, do we dive more into the Bears or should we jump over?
It's already 15 minutes to 2 hours, man. We spoke a long time.
Okay, so let's not dive into the Bears because
we might as well just hit some shout outs.
It's not a whole bunch to talk about with the Bears anyway. So yeah, we might as well get into the shout outs. But before we do, Commish, I know a lot of people are wondering, man, when is T Nick gonna talk about his tickets? So I'm going to give you the third hint.
Ding, ding.
Ding, ding. So for each pair of tickets, both pairs of tickets, I'm going to give you the third hint. I'm not going to give you the first and second hints. They were on the previous episodes. The first hint was on the episode with Rome, Coach Rome. That was 2 weeks ago. So you go check that out for the first hint. The second hint was on the episode, the ladies, right? It was on that episode.
Yes, it was. That was the second.
Okay. So that was the second. The ladies, meaning the ladies that are taking over, she said what she said. There might be a new name coming up soon. Stay tuned for that. But those ladies we were on the podcast with, and I gave the second hint. Oh, yes, definitely, Mom. Thank you.
That was part of my shout outs, damn it.
Condolences to Bobby Jenks.
Yeah.
Bobby Jenks was a monster, man. He was the master closer, but unfortunately his health caught up with him. But yeah, my condolences. Cancer is, I think I'm almost an expert on cancer now. Cancer does not seem fun, and everybody pray and be thankful that, well, assuming that you don't have it, pray and be thankful that you don't. And please try to stay healthy, try to eat right, so maybe it won't come. But if it does come, we got to deal with it because it's life. You know, life happens. Life be life, and so if it comes, it comes. But hopefully it doesn't. Just exercise, eat healthy. But condolences to Bobby Jakes and his family. All right, so let me talk about these tickets. I know everybody's waiting for these tickets. All 7 of the people that are on here right now are waiting to hear about these tickets. So let me get on with it. Okay, so as I said, hints 1 and 2, I'm not going to give you tonight. So I'm going to give you the third hint. The third hint. Okay, and for the, let me pull it up. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to pull it up. Okay, so today is 7/8. So for the first pair of tickets, when they play the Miami Dolphins on Sunday, August 10th at noon, the first set of tickets in the club level, here's the hint. Now remember, you're making a sentence. So you're taking the first hint and the second hint, putting it together with the third hint. And the third hint for those tickets is podcast. Podcast. Put that word together with those other 2 words. And if you're waiting for me to say those other 2 words, I'm not. Go watch the previous episodes and you'll hear them. Now, this third word for the Buffalo tickets. When the Bears play Buffalo on Sunday, 8/17. I believe that's noon too. I think. Am I right? Someone fact check me.
I'm checking.
This one might be it.
August 17th.
It's August 17th at what time?
That is a night game, 7 p.m. game.
Oh,
Sunday night.
Wow. Okay. So for that pair of tickets,
Ooh, it's a Sunday night game.
Sunday night game in the club level. And let me back up. Try to sweeten this deal a bit. In the club level, you never know who you run into. I run into George McCaskey. I'm sorry. That's
Everybody should know what George you're talking about.
Yeah, that's my boy now. So I call him George.
Not George of the Jungle.
So, but you never know who you run into. You run into Rashid Davis. You might run into Jerry Azuma. It's a lot of people you might run into. So you want to get these tickets, man. Club level tickets. So that third hint for these tickets, and remember, you're making a sentence. You're making a sentence with these words. The third word is boy. Boy. B-O-Y. Boy. I won't say it again. If you want to hear it again, go
rewind
the episode. All right, let's kick off the shout out.
All right, I'll kick it off. Like, I mean, shout out. I mean, condolences / to the Bobby Jenks situation. I wanted to say that as well. It's rough times. Fucking yeah, fuck cancer. Fuck Green Bay. Fuck cancer. Some brutal shit. But other than that, I did want to give a little shout out for a little Hawk talk as well. Blackhawks did have their draft, and I feel a lot better from what they did as opposed to what those other freaking Reinsdorks did in drafting another power forward or small forward. I don't know if he's going to be a power forward in the NBA, but we'll see. A tiny little French guy, skinny little French guy, we'll just say. But I mean, we'll see. It looks like they're trying to build a team kind of like OKC, somebody who could just run up and down the floor over and over and over again. So we'll see what goes with that. But I did want to give a shout out to my Blackhawks. They saw a weakness and they pretty much nailed it the entire draft and I know this doesn't seem tall to you guys, but it is tall for hockey players. Not one person was under 6'3". So they went out and got a bunch of big kids that are going to be hogging in front of that net playing two-way defense, and that's what they desperately need. And you guys are going to love this. They drafted a 17-year-old kid. 17 years old. They moved back up in the first round, and he's actually a star quarterback for his high school team and actually has a full-ride scholarship lined up to go play for Penn State, but he's playing hockey instead. He's not doing football. So I like that because I like the leadership that a quarterback brings to football, and he's going to bring that leadership to the Blackhawks. Absolutely love that. And he's another big guy. He's like 6'6" as well, and great hands. It was a good draft. I really like what the Blackhawks did. But other than that, I got nothing else. Shout out to all you guys. Shout out to Keith. Always great having him on. And hey, JB, hit that chat up.
Man, oh man, oh man. First and foremost, before I even get into the chat, I just want to say, shout out to you brothers because, like, when you're with some good people and you realize that you got a good thing going, you realize how important these days, these moments are to you. So shout out to you, Frank. I haven't seen you in a couple of weeks, so good to have you back. To Nick, always good to be with you. And I just, literally. Tuesdays are very, very much so an important part of my week. Not just my week, but my life. Thank y'all for allowing me to get part of that. This shout out right now is going to go directly to what Andrea Smith just said at 9:55. Mom, I'm sorry for my language. Fuck cancer. And I agree with that 100%. 9 years ago, I lost my little sister to cancer. And she was called home, leaving her 4 kids for my mom and my dad to take care of right now. So really cancer, like we got money for wars and all this other bullshit. Go on and cure something to save some people's lives. Let's extend the lineage of the people. And go and put that money where it's supposed to be in research. Cancer is a mess. It really is. It tears a lot of families apart. And I don't see that there's a place. We can have flying cars, but we still dealing with cancer like that. So enough of the sentimental stuff. I want to go and get into the shout outs. Starting off with Gen Wealth Net and Company. Thank you guys for chiming in. Ron Winarski came in early and often. We appreciate it. Bears Down came in. We appreciate him chiming in. TTNL Runaway chimed in. Love when he come in. Yeah, Ron, no worries. They will ask why BRY aren't those SHIT heads and TTNL. TTNL Runaway, he's free. Or she. He or she is free right now. Jeanette Johnson, one of our P1s, chimed in early. Shout out to Easy. Easy did come in out there in Dodger land.
Easy done and did it.
Easy does it. Leah Ainsworth, thank you. We appreciate you for chiming in, Leah. Lorenzo Clemens, obviously one of our P1s, our resident Big Ten referee and actor in New Orleans native Chicago lover. Appreciate Lorenzo chiming in always every week. He doesn't miss the show. Janet Dominguez, thank you, Janet, for chiming in. We appreciate the love. Neon Peacock merch, fellas. Hey, Neon, thank you guys for chiming in. We appreciate it. Love when you guys come in. Andrew Spence, just give you a second shout out. We appreciate you, love, and bear down. And yes, we're gonna make some strides. We're gonna get this right. Shout out to Shiny C. Shiny C chimed in. She's one of our P1s.
Brian.
As soon as she can. Also, I believe, Brian Price. Brian Price chimed in. What up, Brian? We appreciate you coming in. And shout out to the family of people that are watching. I've also shared this podcast with many times who tell me they watch all the time, but I'm afraid to comment. It's okay to comment, y'all.
Lola.
Shout out to Lola talking about the Tootsie Roll. I don't know what that means.
Oh, I know what that means.
Well, that was for you then. So.
That was for me.
And and shout out to SB and shout out to it. We know we got one person watching. One. It's the podcast mom. Most affectionately known as Miss Sandra Bonner.
The mom.
Hi, Mom.
Hey, Mama.
All right, well, I guess it's on me. So my first shout out goes to my guy Keith. Our guy Keith. Man, what a great dude. Like I was saying earlier, real smart. Always has something intelligent to say, doesn't just have diarrhea at the mouth. And he likes helping the kids. That's why he has the camp. And the camp is on Saturday and Sunday. And I urge you, if you have children, get them to go. They will have fun. They will have a lot of fun, and it's something to do. And you can go get your hair done while you leave the kids at the camp. Or go get your nails done. Do whatever you do. But drop your kids off at the camp. Doesn't cost anything. They will have a lot of fun. They might get a new pair of shoes. Might get a shirt. And they might just learn a little more respect than they had when they came in. So you never know. So try it out, man. But yeah, Keith is a great dude, and he loves to help the kids. So shout out to him. Second shout out to my guys. My man JB, my man Frizzank with the Hog Talk. But everybody on the team, really. Mr. Chicago, Amp, Lola, Kristen, Emilio, who has a album release listening party coming up, something like that. Coming up soon. I will share details when I get them, but he has a release party coming up soon. Yeah, he be dropping them. He be dropping them beats and them rhymes. He got bars. So yeah, we're going to give you that information when we get more information. But yeah, I was saying the whole team, and I really want to emphasize the new players on the team, Seaway and Jay. They definitely deserve a shout out and a listen to because they have a lot to say about the Chicago Sky. And it's very entertaining. And actually, it's educational because, like I said, and I will always say, I'm always keeping a buck with y'all. I don't know shit about the Chicago Sky. I know nothing. But I learned something listening to them. I learned something. So it's definitely educational. They definitely break it down to where I can understand it. And if I can understand it, you can understand it. Because what do I always say? I don't know shit. I don't understand shit. So, all right. But anyway, shout out to the whole team. I can't forget Easy, and I definitely can't forget the baddest producer in the game right now. Crooked Commish tears shit up. The coldest producer right now. You can't tell him shit. He already knows it. He already knows it. If you want him to cut something up, just give it to him. He'll cut it up, and it'll be exactly how you want it to be. And he learned it just like that. So, shout out to Commish, man. We got a badass team. You might want to fuck with the Chicago Clubhouse Network. We got a badass team. Everybody's badass on this team. Shout out to Morris Beer. I don't show them as much love anymore, but I still show them a little bit of love because Morris Beer, we watched them come up. And now look at it. Now look at Morris Beer. They're blown the fuck up. So big ups to Morris Beer. And shout out to Chicago News Weekly, who has the ear to the street and your number one place for all your urban news. So when you get a chance, go to www.cnw.com. Check them out, man. They got the ears to the ground. They give you all the tea on Diddy or whatever it is you want to know.
What a first name to bring up there.
I'm about to say, I don't want to know nothing more.
Yeah.
Like what?
But
dog. Come on, man.
But I will tell you this, for their sports content, it's going to be all Chicago Clubhouse Podcast. That's where the sports content is going to be for Chicago News Weekly. So start picking it up. And of course, we couldn't find a better publication to team up with. They're great people over there. So yeah, check it out if you can. Last but not least, shout out to the promoters and all the promoters for the Chosen Few picnic. Thanks for making it so goddamn expensive. That's crazy. That's a picnic that used to be free. It used to be nothing. But now it's like $80. It's crazy. And I'm crazy enough to where I bought a tent. They make you use their tents now. You can't take your own tent. They make you use their tent. And it's $500. That is nuts. That is absolutely nuts. So I might be going to my last Chosen Few picnic this weekend. But anybody, if you are watching and you plan on coming to the picnic, come look for me. Free drinks. I'll be on the grill. Get you something off the grill. I wish JB was coming because he's the real grill master. I wish he was coming, but
not for no $90, man.
Yeah, I feel you, man. That's like highway robbery. That's crazy, man. That's just a ridiculous amount of money for a picnic. A picnic that used to be free, absolutely free, to listen to music that you really can listen to at your crib
for free.
While cooking.
For free,
right?
And invite people over.
So basically, you can do the same thing at your crib. you can do the same thing, but
outside is overrated. It's overrated.
No, sometimes it is. Sometimes outside is overrated, and the Chosen Few picnic is becoming one of those overrated events. But it's still fun. It's still a lot of fun to come out and hang out with everybody. But yeah, you're right. Everybody is trying to make a buck. And the city definitely has their hand in this.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to play music for like 5 minutes. Then it's going to be like a 10-minute commercial. Then they're going to play Yeah, it's stupid. It's stupid. But yeah, my dumb ass is gonna be out there. So if you're out there, come get some drinks, come get something off the grill. We went shopping today. We're gonna have chicken wings, we're gonna have steaks, we're gonna have these sausages. They're like Mississippi hot sausages. Yeah.
And the red casings.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. But they are tasty. They're red. So that lets you know right there they hot.
It's a motherfucker.
Yeah. But it's gonna be a lot of fun. But that was my last shout out to the chosen few promoters. Thanks for making it so goddamn expensive, man. But it's still a good time. So if you can come out, come out. But yeah, I'm done. So I would say for my man JB, the stat man who knows every single stat from every single team, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And my man Frank the Tank, who got that Hawk talk. I'm your boy T Nick, point guard, quarterback, whatever you want to call me. And we out.
You got to decide whether you're a wolf or a sheep.
This has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production.
L for love. Good times.
Lurkers.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.